Hi, how are you? I'm Felipe Cortes, and this is Leave It at That. And today, it was reported that police prevented a shooting in Whittier, California. In El Camino High School, a police officer pulled a. I'm sorry. I'm not sure who turned him in, but someone at El Camino High School, went ahead and turned in a student who was making threats against the school. And he did a great job of turning in the student, interviewed the student, found out he was really a credible threat, and went ahead and arrested him. Good, we're all glad about that. There is an angle that I see that maybe the police don't see, and certainly the local residents have not kept up with, or not all of them. Not all of them. It happened in a part of Whittier that has, I would say, probably a little more, maybe Bernie supporters, and not that that's the reason this happened. I just want to make it clear that there's a lot of left leaning politics in Whittier that it's not that we have a problem where the money is going necessarily. It's almost how the money gets that I would argue. That's something I'd like to argue some other time. Right now, what I'm pointing at is the fact that this student was related to someone in the military that gave him access to all these guns. And I want to say that Whittier police just proved that we don't need these stupid gun laws that prevent people from owning the weapons that allow them to defend themselves. Whittier police did a great job today by having this guy arrested, by having this guy questioned, by having this guy cleared as, not cleared, but rather pulled in and exposed as a threat. And that, good job, Whittier guys. You guys rock. Whittier should be proud of you guys. I think there's a lot more to examine here because this guy brought, or not this guy, his brother brought weapons from Texas that were not registered in California, and now they're illegal in California. It's stupid to have requirements for soldiers to have the tools they use at work be illegal here. It's a scam, all right? It's a setup. It's creating criminals out of the most brave that we have in our cities in California. Those that will go out there and do the job. This is an insult. This is a setup. This is a way to criminalize soldiers. And California has been, not California, I'm sorry. People on the extreme left have been trying to criminalize soldiers for a long time. I remember going to an alt-left gathering of people against symbols that they don't understand. And it wasn't like a bunch of Christians scared of pentagrams. It was people scared of German flags from the 40s. I have no fear for those flags. Why? Because I know there was an entire civilization of people that wanted something good to come out of that flag. The Germans should steal that flag back and prove that they beat Hitler too. That's what they should do. However, I'm not going to be scared of that because all the Jewish people I know are super cool and don't care what others believe. They don't care what you pray to. As soon as your actions are detrimental and dangerous to society, you need to be exposed like the police in Whittier exposed that criminal today. As soon as your thoughts align with physical violence that you are prepared to do to innocent people, you're an idiot. You need to be talked to and maybe pulled aside for a few days. My questions are, is he on pharmaceuticals? If he is on pharmaceuticals, that would be why he went ahead and thought it was a good idea to ruin his brother's career. It doesn't make any sense to me that why he would want to do that, except pharmaceuticals, because pharmaceuticals get teenagers in that really dark place that even black metal or death metal albums don't reach. Nothing is that dark. Why? Because that's something that's a pharmaceutical haze, man. It's an antidepressant haze. It's an SSRI haze. We need to know this guy's motives. It's early. I don't want to make it more difficult for the police in Whittier that are doing a great job right now. I will say that I'm very concerned with all the police, all the schools, and all the parents that have no idea that they're going to need to rethink this city, how this city is. Do we need more really cheap housing and really small apartments filled with people that were raised by the left that will carry out violence if they don't get their demands met? Or do we want more factories? Do we want more manufacturing? I'm all for the manufacturing and factories, because if you're making something that you're proud of, you're probably not going to want to go kill people. If you're able to hang out with people because you're not on SSRI drugs and you can't have an occasional beer, you're not going crazy. Okay, that's the reality. Whittier has that potential. In fact, Whittier police are making sure that we still have that potential, and I want to thank them. They did a great job. I'm going to move on to the Florida Parkland shooting, because there's something that the news hasn't touched. I didn't mention it in the last video. I'm going to mention it right now. There was a second shooter. There is a witness, at least two witnesses that have come forward. One is a young lady that probably made fun of him for being a dork, that heard shots being fired while she was talking to him. So there is evidence clear that there is a second shooter. There's a witness that says there was a second shooter. No one else is talking about the second shooter. And what's that guy going to do? Say he got set up? He's being left alone. I understand that the reality is that no one's going to believe whatever he says, so he's giving up on himself. He gave up on himself a long time ago. You know what made him give up on himself? The SSRI drugs. People don't give up on themselves without those SSRI drugs. Not like that. Not like that. It doesn't happen like that. People want to think that it's the guns. No! You don't have any kind of experience outside of a really small, crappy ghetto town. That's why you think we need gun laws. Maybe in your town, it's not a good idea to be hanging out with people on SSRI drugs while you have a stockpile of weapons. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe you should hang out with them. If you're family members with them, you have no way out. Except hanging out with them. That would probably solve a lot, man. And I understand if there's financial hardships, that's probably why they're getting so much alone time that they're not knowing how to deal with. But the alone time doesn't get better by just drugging them up with antidepressants. Those SSRIs create a very different kind of solitude because you feel good while you're alone for a few hours. So it's not like a normal like learning how to be alone thing that you could get while I don't know, learning to draw, learning to write, learning about history, coming up with a new circuit, coming up with a new way to farm, a new way to plant vegetables or plants. No, all that stuff, that's a good way to be alone. That you walk out knowing something. You walk out learning something, being someone that is a little bit better than the person you were before you started learning. That's fantastic. That's the kind of alone time we need to promote, not SSRI alone time on video games or whatever they're up to online. The way things are going right now, they're going to tell us all these ridiculous things about guns. They won't look at the SSRI. My guess is they want more SSRI drugs out there with no weapons so that they can have acid attacks the way they have them right now in the UK. They want bombings like the UK had in the 80s. What are you going to do? Make fire illegal? You're going to ban cigarette lighters? No, that's what they love to see. They love to see cities, in flames. That's what they want. They love to see humans decimated and destroyed and ruined and, handicapped. That's what they love to see. So we have to do the opposite. We have to really think that if we're gonna get weapons, we need to prepare our minds and our bodies. We should train not in a federal or a police or a state license, but we need to train here. We need to think different. You know, we need to really be able to defend our families and defend those we love and those we care about. And in the cities where it's ridiculous and everyone that is ready to take your rights away to make sure that they don't have any rights too, you know, it's going to be intellectual. It's going to be, I'm going to find a way to make my business move away from these lunatics. That's what it's going to be. We might see that all across the nation, and we might move closer to cities where we have less crazies trying to prevent us from having rights. I think Whittier's providing a good example of very decent, very honorable police work. And I've had issues with them in the past. I'll post a video later. This is something else. This is brand new. I'm going to treat this like it's brand new. And so far, they're doing well. I'm going to keep up with this. And we'll definitely see where we're going with everything, because it can't stay like this. So I'm not sure what I missed on here in the tagline. If I have to do another video, I'll do another video to clean it up and add this. But I think this is all I needed to talk about. And I'll try to do a live video later, just when I get more information about this shooting. Thank you. I'm Felipe Cortes, and this is Leave It At That.